What's up, fucks? Welcome to another edition of I don't know what the hell we're calling this. It's not your dad's dirt sheet. It's not your normal dirt sheet. It's just three dudes. Should be four. And then maybe next week we'll get Nikki D in here. Just four dudes talking wrestling and our opinions on it. And if you don't like our opinions, that's cool. But kick rocks. I don't need to see you in here. So without further ado, this is me. I'm the MATT. This is the huge pop himself, Scott, and Reek below us. So what's up, fellas?
What's up?
Going on?
What do you guys want to talk about?
So what do you want to talk about?
Oh, that's not my line. That's not my line.
That's not our show.
Do we just want to get it out of the way and bring up a little gold smack? Do we just want to get that out of the way?
Oh, he's walking off. He's walking off. We talked about Goldberg. We're going to talk about Goldberg and how he's going to probably.
I forgot what show I was on.
He's gonna end up giving freaking Gunther a concussion anyway. So it is
live from the nursing home.
Listen.
We're in the
we
middle
talked
of
about this earlier.
Episode.
Like I understand, he's a big name. He puts butts in seats, but come on, man, enough is enough. And the fact that we love and respect you, but the fact it looked like you were really hurt and going to the ring, man. Do you really want to do this? Do you really want to do this?
When he did his whole kick thing, it looked like he threw his back out doing it. I'm like, oh, bro, come on now.
I will say this. I have three things to say about this. If you're looking for nostalgia, if TKO is looking for nostalgia, they got it, right? If they're looking to appease the older group of people, the guys that are Goldberg fans, sure. But I can tell you what, if you looked at the crowd, the young people weren't even happy to see it. Even when it comes to content creators, I scroll through TikTok, and even the content creators are going, "Oh my God," right? Because no one wants to see it. I mean, and like Matt said, it looked like he pulled a groin or something, kicking that kick. And it wasn't the coming out the locker room, smashing the door. It wasn't that. It was, if I have to better words say, it was boring.
Boring.
Right.
And once again, people, this is our opinion, no one else's, but we're entitled to our opinion, and we think that was boring.
It was dumb. It was so, and no one popped for it. I mean,
because it was predictable. It was the most predictable thing ever. And guess what? I'll write it for you. You heard it here first because it's already in your head. Neither Goldberg or Gunther will walk away from Saturday night's main event the champion because Seth freaking Rollins is cashing in.
So?
It's written on the wall. It's written on the wall. It's gonna happen.
I don't know, man. I mean, let's be real about this. Goldberg's gonna win. He's gonna win the title. No, okay. I'm sorry. I can't even say that with a straight face. No, I agree with you. It's the writing's right there. And instead of surprising us, they're putting it back on the wall so everybody can see it.
Borberg.
Yep. Borberg. Exactly. Hey, Kim, how you doing? Thank you for stopping.
Wiccan. That's great. Borberg. Absolutely.
That even deserves to come up on the show here.
Yeah, Borberg. Let's throw him up there.
Borberg.
Or-
I mean,
It's horrible. It's
just,
almost as horrible as everyone blaming and just chastising Io Sky because not Io Sky, Carrie
Kari
Singh
Singh.
for Liv Morgan's screw up. Liv Morgan hurt herself, people. She did. She took the bump wrong.
You know, that's
mean-
what you got to understand. It's going to happen. You know, mistakes are going to happen. You don't beat up on the person who, you know, started it, I guess you would say, but you know, enforce the move. But
So I'm a Lions fan. I'm a Detroit Lions fan through and through, and I'm not blaming Dak Prescott for Aiden Hutchinson getting hurt when Aiden Hutchinson hit him last season. I'm not blaming Dak Prescott. Then why are we blaming Kyrie Singh? It's an accident. Shit happens. Move on.
and that's where you talk about, is it fake or is it real, right, guys? It's preempted, it's pre-scripted, but shit like that happens, and that makes it real, right? And I had an interview years ago with a guy, and he explained fake and real, like in wrestling, like a figure skating couples, right? That couple has to trust each other to throw each other in the air, and you better catch her, or she's gonna hit the ground, and it's gonna hurt, right? So what? So now you got Liv Morgan, you got all that with Carrie Sane, and you can't blame anybody. It's you work together, and stuff like that happens, and that's what makes it, in my opinion, that's where you get the real from.
And this also brings up a beautiful point that I've been just preaching for the last couple of years. WWE, TKO, whoever made this decision, they don't have house shows anymore, right? This is where having a house show would be so instrumental, because you get those two competitors in the ring a couple times before they give you their final product on TV. So yeah, we see those matches in house shows, and you turn on your TV on Monday night and be like, hey, I saw that the other night. But they look a lot better because I was practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I truly believe not having these house shows is hurting and creating more of a situation, if you will, that could be avoided.
yeah, no, it's like having a basketball or a football team where you come up with a play and you got to go over the play, but you don't have a practice to go over that play. You're just going to try to go ahead and do it in the next game. It's like someone's going to do something wrong, something bad's going to happen.
Right,
Yeah.
and I'm going to say this also. I'm going to piggyback off of your Rico's and Matt. TKO, if you had the house shows, right, you would get these stars would be able to practice what they're supposed to be doing, right? And you're putting butts in seats for these house shows. They're paying to come to these house shows. And oh my God, if you start having these house shows again and you get tickets, now you might not have to have skyrocketing prices for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, PLE. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So start doing house shows, cut the prices of your PLEs, and people might be able to come back to those. That's just me.
No,
See,
but
if they went to house shows and they brought the house show price down to where families could go to it, they could legitimately keep their PLEs where they are, because people are stupid, and they'll pay that kind of money to go see the product. Now, Raw, on the other hand, Raw and SmackDown, it's a bit much. But I understand that they're trying to make it feel like an event, right? So, I mean, I get it, but it still kind of sucks, because when you have a family of three that you're trying to take to the show, and you're spending close to $600 just for tickets for decent seats. I mean,
yeah, we just spent, what was it? That SmackDown just won a couple weeks ago. That, if I remember correctly, was about 720, 730 just for 2 seats.
That's stupid. That's absolutely dumb. For it to be that expensive. I mean, I'm glad you got to go. I mean, that's super cool. And be that close to the action. I
But
mean,
I will say, whoever's thinking, oh, floor seats are awesome, find out where you're sitting at in that floor side, because you could be in an angle where you cannot see nobody unless if they hit the ground, you don't see them anymore. They disappear or hit the mat. But if they're standing up, you can see a head or shoulder.
So let's go back to
where did Jay come by you guys at all?
Yes. Like where Jay
Okay.
came down, right when he's coming down and he gets to the floor section, if you look a little to the left, if you're looking at the turnbuckle that's closest to like where Wade or Pat McAfee sit,
Okay.
like kind of straight back from that turnbuckle right there, that's where we're at. But it's just you couldn't get a good seat. And I'm not knocking nobody. It's I should have paid better attention, but didn't really have good visual. I got to be right next to Jay when he came down. That was awesome. But besides that, I missed a lot of entrances because I couldn't see nothing.
Okay.
Go back to that Liv Morgan incident, right? I was thinking about that. We were in the midst of the EO and Liv feud before this happened, and Roxanne Perez's newfound spotlight. Do you think that injury? What is that going to do to EO Sky and or Roxanne Perez going forward? Is that going to just how do they guys start back over? What do you think creative should do on that part?
Well, they have to figure out what they're going to do with those tag team belts, because if Liv can't go, she's going to be out 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's out for 3 months, you're talking she's going to miss Evolution, she's going to miss SummerSlam, and she's going to miss potentially the show after SummerSlam, and all the ones in between with like Night of Champions and that kind of stuff. So she's going to miss a handful of big shows this summer. You got to figure out what you're going to do with those tag titles. Are you going to have Roxanne and Raquel tag now? Are you going to have Raquel try to find someone to fill in? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of leaning where because she's already been somewhat a part of Judgment Day, not really, but just have Roxanne just kind of fill the gap.
This could be a really, really pivotal moment. If you take Liv off TV, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to take her off TV? Or are you going to have her stay on and have that managerial role, so to speak? Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with her? Are you going to take her off completely? Or are you going to have her still be able to carry a storyline and kind of have interactions, not physical, but say verbal altercations with Roxanne during this whole thing? Like, keep that thing bubbling, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that simmering until whenever Liv comes back. I mean,
I'd say I'd like that, but we'll just have to wait. But I would like it if they kept her at least somewhat kind of anything TV time, any kind of TV time. Just stay around.
So does this open the doors for Nikki Bella? We've seen her a couple weeks ago. Does this open the doors for her to come in and get into a spot similar to Liv Morgan?
I had a question for you guys on that. Why are we bringing Nikki back? Not dogging her in any way. I'm just asking. Like, was there plans or something I didn't know about? Or
I think it's nostalgia purposes because of Evolution, because she was in the main event of the first Evolution.
okay,
I think that's the reason, because they're really trying to push, and it's kind of a veteran leadership in the back too. I think. It was really interesting because I was like, man, I wonder if John and Nikki saw each other in the back. that could have been awkward, but
John, but like, okay, I got some house rules for you.
Yeah.
Take your
Right.
damn shoes off.
But I'm telling you, Io Sky's promo prior to that happening, that was epic. I mean, the way she just laid into her, and I loved it. I thought it was pretty good. She needs to be pushed. In my opinion, she needs to be pushed.
It's really good to see Asuka back out there too.
Hell yeah,
Yes.
yes. I didn't know she was gone for over a year. That didn't seem like it was that long, but oh my, 13 months they said.
Yeah,
Yep.
And
Yeah.
and the fire still burns.
yeah, and that the face paint.
She's badass.
Yeah.
She's one.
We were watching that, waiting for her to take her mask off. Like, what's she gonna have? And she had, oh man, just looks so sweet.
Now, does she
Yeah.
do her own painting?
I'm sure she does.
That's sick. I mean, that's sick. So,
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do with her.
there's got to be no way in hell. I was telling Rico this. There's no way in hell she can't. She has to win Queen of the Ring. She has to.
See, they missed horribly. In my opinion, they missed horribly with the whole King and the Queen of the Ring. Picture this, okay? You have on the men's bracket, you could have had Dom going all the way. You know, Dom, attaboy, Dom. He wins King of the Ring, right? And then on the women's side, you could have had Liv win the whole thing. Atta girl, Liv. Yay, Liv. It'd be like prom king and queen. It's a power couple.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do it. He's kind of disappointed. But
And that, I don't know. Are they setting up Jay to win the King of the Ring? So now we got King Jay.
That could be a possibility. I mean, because he is pretty over, so I can see him kind of doing that.
I can see it being Sami Zayn, actually.
Oh,
I wouldn't be disappointed in that.
nope, not at all.
Sammy and Gunther
Yeah.
at SummerSlam. Let's run it back one more time. Sammy Gunther. This time for the big prize.
Does Sammy beat him?
Yeah,
No.
I really would like to see Sammy win that.
Sammy won't win because by that time Kevin Owens will come back and screw Sammy over.
So who does he go up against next week?
Is it Seth Rollins?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
No, because Seth Rollins is Money in the Bank. Who does it? Who is it?
Hold up.
Can't remember.
I would say, yeah, off the top of my head, cannot remember.
Sami Zayn versus would that be right? Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso?
Yeah, that's
Holy hell. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be building some stories.
Yep.
Could
Oh
we
my
have
God.
a Randy Cody final?
God, how would that?
Because it would be the second year in a row Randy appears in the King of the Ring final.
I don't know, man. That's intriguing as heck.
Either
That-
matchup, if you really look at it, has story like layers and layers and layers of story. Because you have Jay and Sammy, like if they both win, they go to the finals. Boom.
Right.
Or you have Cody rehashing, not Evolution, but Legacy, going at it because they were teammates on Legacy. Or you have Cody and Sammy, or Sammy and Jay with the whole bloodline. Like you have so many different
Yeah. You can go either way with that.
Now, whoever's in charge of that in this King of the Ring, that they know what they're doing, and that's intriguing. That is probably something that's interesting. Even at the women's tournament, Roxanne Perez, Jade Cargill, Bliss, and Asuka. That's going to be good too.
Yeah.
Damn. Whoever did that, that's good. That's good writing. I don't know.
That's gonna be interesting. That's definitely gonna be, and I think, I mean, this is just something to think about. Is if it is Jay and Cody, because they have history, they're best friends, right? If it is, no, wait, they fight each other, don't they?
Yeah.
Yep.
What if this is where Cody? What if this is where we get the heel turn for Cody?
That's coming real quick. I want to
Real
talk
quick?
about that. Yeah, I think it's going to be real quick, real soon.
What happens if that happens?
Shoot.
I mean,
Y'all
because
saw
Cody,
it, right?
Cody will do anything to get his hands on that title again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was weird. I thought it was. I agree with some of the IWC. I know they're not our favorite people, but I said that. Yeah, I said that. But, did you see what? I mean, why was there just a stare down between Seth and Cody on Monday night at the end? Cody came in. He got stepped up to cook to Seth. Seth looked at him. Seth didn't say a word. Exited. Nothing happened. There's a lot of people speculating that he's going to turn, and I would hope he doesn't join that faction. But could he turn and join that faction?
If he does that makes no sense to me. There's that faction's too big already. Like, there's three people. Trio factions are the way to go, because you get more than when you get saturated like the Judgment Day was, and I really think that's why they got lost in the shuffle, is because they didn't have just a tag team and a leader, or if you threw that fourth person in, make sure it's a woman, you know what I mean, and that way you have 3 dudes and a girl, or 3 guys and a woman, or 2 women. 5 is the max you should ever have in a faction, in my opinion, because you start getting guys like look at we had JD, Finn, Dom, Carlito, 4 guys, 2 women. That's 6 people you gotta try to keep tabs on. It's just too much. There's just too much going on. There are too many moving parts. It felt like NWO will start forming all over again, and I was waiting for Judgment Day East to start, or Judgment Day Purple and Yellow, or whatever. Like,
it's like an NWO Wolfpack ripoff.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
A T-Move version of NWO Wolfpack. But no, I just was wondering if maybe not him joining that faction, but it was just weird. It almost gave that vibe of, or is Cody just playing the field, playing it, going, okay, I'm gonna just bounce wherever I need to bounce, because he does ultimately he wants that title back.
Yep, yeah, he does, and he's already stated that's what he wants back.
Could he be doing something similar to what AJ Styles did in TNA when he did the whole "I'm here for myself, I'm not here for you"? And then when Aces and Eights offered him a spot in their group, and he's like, and AJ's like, "I'll get right back to you. Like, I'll have your answer here in a couple weeks." And then it just blows up at the end. Aces and Eights didn't get him, and all that kind of stuff. This Cody's version of Aces and Eights, is he gonna dye that blonde head of his back to his black, and then just go and do a lone wolf, not a lone wolf, but a loner kind of vibe to it, that he's here for himself. Is he going to do that? Like, there's so many options for Cody right now, and I really hope they go with something that will change his character a little bit.
Yeah.
I think give it some time and we'll see a character change maybe around SummerSlam time.
Possible. And yep, I've actually got some. I point out. I'm just reading my notes. Rhea Ripley went on. I think X. She was not happy with the response that the crowd was cheering when Liv Morgan got hurt. She said she was disgusted by the crowd. What a disgusting behavior that we would, as fans, would cheer an injury. Anybody see that?
No, but I mean, I'm not going to disagree with her because that's their careers. That's what they do for a living. They put on a show for us fans, and that's what they love to do. So for people to cheer for somebody to seriously get hurt, not seriously, but to take them out of action, that's you don't want that.
No. So I just found that interesting when I read that and seen that.
Now unless people really thought it's part of the storyline and they're like, yeah, get her out of here,
No,
that's something entirely different.
But if you've seen pictures of that shoulder, it's not no storyline. I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
There's no way that's a storyline. So, but yeah, I don't know that. Yeah.
So there was a rumor, so to speak, going around today. And I don't know if you guys saw it, and I just made sure I got all my facts straight. Bubba the Love Sponge. You guys familiar with him? He's Hulk Hogan's best friend, right? He's one of he also has a podcast, and he announced on his podcast that Hulk Hogan was in the hospital, and because he had a neck surgery done, and it was looking really bleak for Hogan to get through it because of an infection that he sustained during the neck injury, and he was in very critical condition. And that came from Bubba the Love Sponge, right? And he was basically saying, hey, Hogan's not going to make it. So, keep keep the big man in your prayers, yada, yada, yada. It turns out what he said was completely false. Go figure, right? So that brings me to not necessarily my fan of the week, but my rant for the IWC for the week. Stay off the dirt sheets. Stay away before you go spouting off like you know what the hell you are talking about. Make sure you have every last piece of detailed evidence, because we do collect receipts, right? We do say, no, we will call you out on your bullshit. Period. And I'm starting to have that mentality of, I'm going to Google that. I'm going to do all my research, because I got time during my breaks to do that. I'll sit alone in my office at work and search you up to make sure you're telling me the truth. As a matter of fact, there is one person, and quite honestly, clip it, whatever. She's on TikTok, and she fancies herself, and it's not the one that sits in the bathtub each week. It's not her this week. It's this other one who seems to, as she gets more and more like more and more into it, her her octave goes up and up and up. She gets a little louder when she thinks that she's correct. Those are the type of people that, quite honestly, need to delete the goddamn app, leave social media, because you're a bully, lady. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna yell, you're gonna tell people that they're wrong for having an opinion. So, Mad Honeybee, yeah, that's her name on TikTok. Check her out. See how stupid she looks. Seriously.
Mad Honeybee?
Mad
Yeah,
Honeybee.
I'm gonna have to look.
Mad Honeybee.
Look how stupid she is, because she point blank, and this what gets me. I'm not gonna go on a tangent, but she makes it sound like Roman Reigns' leukemia is a work. And if you don't believe me, check it out. Check out
Mad Honeybee.
Yep. I'm just saying.
So she was trying to knock against his leukemia, saying that it could be a fake.
Because he's off in Hollywood making a movie. Check it out. There's receipts there. So whoever and like I said last week, no one's safe. No one's safe from me calling you out. I'm done. I'm just done being Mr. Nice Guy. Don't be a dumbass. Don't be a dumbass on my screen.
That's
and she has the fuck you fan of the week. I said it.
that's the part that irks me right there. You know what I'm saying, is the now you're going attack, not really attacking, but spitting false accusation about someone who legitimately deal with some real life issues. Family had to go through that with them. And you're just sitting there running your mouth saying, "Oh no, that didn't happen. It was fake." Yeah, you deserve. Shut up. I'm just gonna shut up.
You have to send me her link. I want to check her out. I can't find her. So, but yeah, I mean, wrestling is just, I don't know. Raw was, I'll just say it. Raw was not great. I think Netflix is realizing that, I don't know who's the problem, but Netflix is realizing that they're not going to be billionaires off of WWE, because they're not getting the views that they thought they would get. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I was reading that their SmackDown is getting smarter and they're going to go back to a 2-hour show. I think July. Thank God.
Yep.
And TNA, there was somebody was talking. Okay. So I want to bring this up. I was talking to Rico and Matt about this in private, but Jay loses his belt after 51 days. Roman Reigns has been asked to cut his salary. And then Rikishi goes on to a podcast and he went off.
Yes, he did.
I asked you both to watch it. I don't know if you guys did, but I'm here to say he's straight shot. I don't think it's a work. I think it's shoot. I think he has every right to be pissed. I think he just he said some stuff that that everybody's afraid to say about TKO, about Triple H, about WWE. And then you turn the busted open, and Bubba Ray, he don't give two shits. And he just lets it go. So those are my two favorite shows to watch. But did Rikishi shoot, or is it a work?
What up,
I
Julius?
think he
Thanks for stopping. Sorry.
I think he was shooting, man. He was talking straight from the hip, and he was pretty much saying, "Well, I believe most of us were thinking, like you got when you spitting facts about how even before the Royal Rumble, Jay is either the number one or number two top merchandise seller. Like he's up there. He's been steady up there. And so, like you said, after 51 days, you just take the title off him. It's like makes no sense. You got this guy who constantly can get, I mean, just his music gets everyone out of their seat going crazy. He's a moneymaker. But let's take the title off him after 50 days, 51 days. It makes absolutely no sense.
Jay's a guy. I'm going to say this before I have a crazy idea. Jay's a guy who doesn't need a title. He's over like Rover. He doesn't need his title to be over. I think he helps the title. Because it puts more eyes on it. But my crazy idea is, okay, so TKO says, okay, Roman, we're going to give you 15. Roman goes, you can take your 15 and shove it. I feel like I need more because I carried this company on my back for the last 4 years. I think that deserves to have something more, which he should say. I think Joe should say that. But what's to say that they said no? You're not going to say. You're not going to tell us how to run our company. We're not going to give you over 15 mil. Then he says, "Fine, I'll take my ball and I'll go over to AEW. I'll join John Mox. I'll join my brother from another mother in AEW." That right there would have. We talked ad nauseum how he is a needle mover.
Mm-hmm.
If that happens, WWE has some serious problems because you will hear a massive click in the way things are done.
So let's speculate, right? You're right. You're right. Roman don't have to stay in AEW or WWE. And I'm not, but I think you're right. I think you're onto something, Matt, because if TKO is not careful, they're gonna lose some star power. And then, and only then, is AEW going to become relevant, right? They're relevant. Don't get me wrong. They got a great Wednesday show. They got a great Saturday show. I like all wrestling, so I'm a fan of AEW. There are going to be some major problems. You're going to see WCW, WWE kind of
Monday Night Wars come back alive.
I mean, I heard somebody say that TKO is going to get way over their head because I didn't know this. I think I was listening to Busted Open. AAA was part of AEW at first.
Yeah.
Or they did some stuff with AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think that I agree. I can't remember who said it, but I'm going to agree with them. TKO should never have purchased AAA. They should have used it like they are with TNA. TNA is just there, and they can take people from there and come on to WWE. Now TKO goes and buys AAA, and I think they're going to find you. I think they're trying to buy so much stuff, and that's why you're getting rid of people left and right because you can't afford it and because numbers aren't up. Because your prices are so gosh darn high. And I'm sorry, I don't want to say this, but if we're not careful, we're going to end up having. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe AEW needs to make themselves aware. And Matt said it many times. I agree. A lot of people might not agree, not like the philosophy that Tony Khan has, but Tony Khan, with Daddy's money, is a rich man, and he can just go get whatever he wants. and he can. Is he a booker? No. But if the right pieces fall into place and he gets some good writers, he has the money. He could drop Roman at 15.
Oh, he could drop Roman 15
without
easily.
doubt, without a doubt in my mind.
He probably has it on him now.
He's probably just waiting to pull that trigger. Go ahead, mess up WWE, let him go.
Here's my question to you guys. In our lifetime, we've seen big stars leave their promotion and go elsewhere. We saw AJ Styles leave TNA. He's in WWE now. Arguably the biggest star of all time over in TNA, AJ Styles. He leaves. No one thought he'd ever leave. We saw that. We saw Hulk Hogan leave WWE to go and be in WCW.
Yep.
If Roman leaves and goes to AEW, would that be the biggest move of all time? Would that be a bigger move than Hogan? Would that be a bigger move or like AJ Styles? Like which?
I don't think it'll be a bigger move because, I mean, think about it. Like when Hogan went to WCW, that was huge because he's always been WWE Golden Boy. Always. I mean, since I was a kid watching him, and I think it would be the biggest move of this era for sure, hands down. But I will say this, if that was to happen, I promise you would see others follow.
And you notice, where was the state of wrestling when Hogan did what he did? It was in shambles.
It was kind of what we're in right now.
Right, it was in shambles.
Yep.
What was the state of TNA when Styles left? Shambles. Confusion. Leadership problems, right? I'm just follow the pattern, right?
Yep.
WWE TKO is, in my opinion, they don't know how to run a wrestling business, first of all. And they're not running it right. And fan bases, wrestlers are getting frustrated. And we're not in a steady place. If fans of WWE think they're in a steady place, this is my opinion. So you guys can whatever. I don't think WWE is in a stable space right now. I think there's a lot of chaos. If they're not careful, we're going to see the next big move, the next era of big moves.
Now, you know what's crazy to think about this? This is just something. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate tonight. I'm throwing all these what ifs. What's crazy to think is Joe or Roman. They don't want to give him the money, but who's running TKO's part of, or WWE's part of TKO right now? It's The Rock.
Yep.
That blows my mind that he's not trying to get his boy a bigger deal. You know what I mean? Like I'm surprised he's not like saying, "All right, listen, Joe has carried this company for the last 4 years. You need to legit give him the money that he deserves." I mean, is this a situation where if they decide not to give Roman, do you think Rock goes, you know what? F you, I'll leave too.
I've often wondered. Go ahead, Rico. Sorry.
I would love to agree with that. I really would. It's just I think The Rock is all about business, which he should be. You know, he's about business, and he wouldn't like it whatsoever, but he would still stay because it's business, and it's a business he's ventured in, and he's all about his money, and he's going to make sure to stay with it.
I mean, he's got the XFL, so
yeah, he don't need it by any means, but you know, that's kind of like his almost like his reputation, where he don't want the rep of getting angry and just leaving a company or something because he didn't agree with them.
Right. I often wonder how much does he play part in that.
Bakadoo, bakadoo.
Yep, he's spending the night. So I wonder how much part he really plays in that board of directors. Because he's not. He came in like a lion. He came roaring.
What's your name?
He came roaring. Baki, why don't you go find Yaya? He came roaring like a lion, and then he got this whole Cody Rhodes thing set up.
Yep.
Really haven't heard much from him. I'm wondering. We don't know, and I don't know. I wonder how much part he does play in this whole TKO board of directors, WWE. I don't know.
Like I said in the text, and I don't know if I mentioned this last week because last week I was just on one. I kind of blacked out last week. I was yelling at everybody. It's interesting to think that Vince McMahon always said that the only person that's going to kill the business is me.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Dang it.
And but the thing that's going to kill WWE is the thing that he always said wasn't a competition, and that's the UFC. And the reason I say that is because, and I'm making that comment is because UFC and TKO are two of the same. They're under the same umbrella. That the UFC is legitimately the parent company of TKO.
Right.
Like that. And Dana White hated Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's public knowledge. They hated each other. And when you have a guy, like it's essentially killing itself from the inside out. It's not AEW's not doing anything to kill WWE. It's doing it to himself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to me. I mean, we have to be. I mean, there's a lot of other things popping up, that I don't know if TKO is not careful. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to ever take over what we call professional wrestling, right? But you got the Hogan Bischoff thing. You have another organization that Larry Zbyszko talked about on the podcast that he's helping promote. You have bare knuckle fighting now that everybody's getting the love, starting to love. I think are we as our fans going to get so frustrated at TKO and the direction WWE is going that our fan base is going to go, that we're going to see a decline?
Well, here's an interesting thing. I had read something today, where that bare knuckle fighting or whatever.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon himself is looking into trying to partner with them.
Yeah.
And trying to buy that. And I'm like, if that happens, like that could be like the next level.
It was confirmed. Dave Feldman says it. The bare knuckle fighting founder and president confirmed that a meeting occurred and that McMahon is resolute about to return to promoting.
Really?
Vince is looking forward to returning to promoting.
Oh, I honestly did not even hear about that until just now.
I don't know how that, but I also had read. I had also had heard as well that the bare knuckle fighters or whatever, the bare knuckle wrestling or whatever it's called, wasn't 100% on board.
Okay.
So it's sounding like Vince wants it, but they're like, well, you're bringing negative light to the situation now. Like, I don't know if we need that negative energy around our company. So
Coming to get me? So yeah, I it's interesting that the wrestling world is becoming very interesting. If I do say so myself. So
yeah, it's I don't know. And I mean, as us as fans, we just need to sit back and watch.
right.
And I didn't go on a tangent this week. I had my FU fan of the week. Go check that person out and leave her all sorts of nasty comments and tell them who sent you. I don't give a shit less.
So I have a question. Were you guys friends before at
No,
all? No, never
no,
have. No.
no. I never had one word. No, I've never talked to this person, the individual. That's why I called her out by her screen name on whatever.
Who does she run with? You, Mike?
I'll talk to you off air about that one.
All right. So, that's all
But
I got.
I threw my first name out tonight, and listen, if it gets back to the person, it gets back to the person.
I have to have StreamYard generates clips. So I have to what?
I mean, do what you got to do to drum up some controversy, I guess. But it's my opinion. I don't like the person. I follow the person to see what stupidity comes out of their mouth next, because it does at times get entertaining. But if she continues to do the leukemia route and act like a absolute asshat, I will start stitching your stuff and it'll get really entertaining real quick.
I just don't understand how people. That's what bothers me. People like that. I've never watched their stuff, but I can't imagine why anybody would ever second question someone's leukemia.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying right there. That's if you want to say whatever you want to about wrestling, you want to say whatever you want to about a story,
Yeah.
whatever. But that's actually real life stuff that was happening. That's why he had to leave. I mean, talk to his freaking family who was going through it with him, his wife, his kids. It's not a joking matter and stuff like that. That's irritating as hell to hear somebody run their little flat or flap their little jaws about that.
Is
That
that
don't
video
have the
on her?
facts.
Is that video on her thing? How do
It
you
was the last time. There was the last time. I sent you the link to her page.
how the hell do you? You're basically telling Roman Reigns. I mean, oh my God, how would you? Why would you?
You're telling anyone that has or is dealing with someone who has leukemia that it's a work. Because
and that same person will regurgitate in her mouth if she's sick and someone doubts that she's sick, she'll regurgitate. She'll throw up in her mouth saying, "Well, why you guys don't believe me?" And this is the same people.
I promised you, she's probably one of those people who didn't think COVID was real. I'm just being completely honest with you.
Wow.
But go check her out.
I'll be checking her out. Honey boo boo. Honey boo boo.
Something. I mean, at this point, I'd rather talk to Honey Boo Boo and her mom than this.
That's disgusting. I'll have to look at that. So.
Yep.
Look forward to. Let me see. All I got. So the rest of the week, I have the Brolic Tyson Maddox. He was trained by. Let me see. He was. Oh, I can't. I wrote it up. I can't. I don't know. I can't remember. Interesting story. He's going to be at XIW on Saturday. Can't wait for his interview. but that's on Thursday. Then XIW is on Saturday, and then Les Thatcher, who trained John Moxley, is on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. That's what we got on the rest of the week for Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. So that's all I got, Matt.
Just join us every week. We're gonna do Wednesdays for the summer. Maybe jump to a Thursday evening during the football season because I won't be available. I don't know. We'll have to talk about it as a group. And then Thursday afternoons will be coming up very shortly, probably towards the end of July. Kick it up to Football Thursdays, where we're going to be talking everything football, college, high school, pros. We're going to break down conferences. We're going to I have games of the week that we're going to throw out. We're going to pick those. We're going to just talk about all things football on a Thursday going forward, and probably starting, like I said, at the late end of July. That way we're ready for the season to start. It's going to be it's coming a lot faster than we think it is.
It's going to get exciting because I just found out my CEO of where I work is a Oklahoma Sooners fan, and we play them week 2. So I'm excited about that. And then our boss, Rico and I's boss, she's a Packer fan, so we play them week 1. So
all I know is I'm taping some gold blue flags or cans to somebody's car.
There you go. But that guest tomorrow night, he was trained by QT Marshall, Ricky Marvin, and Robert Gibson. He wrestled against the Dark Order in AEW. He's been over in Japan. He's a powerhouse, so look forward to that interview. So pay attention to that. If you don't have anything else, Matt, I have to go pick up some kids from church. So if you want to close the show.
Well, thanks again, guys. We will, and hopefully, I'm going to say this again. Do we have your attention now?